New tonight, we've learned the Fayette County Public Schools Board plans to consider asking the fiscal court to raise the occupational license tax for schools. This resolution is attached to the agenda for Tuesday's meeting. It would ask to raise the tax from 0.5% to 0.75%. The tax is levied on the salaries, wages, commissions, and other compensation of anyone who works in Fayette County. According to the district, as it stands, the tax is expected to bring in $57 million next fiscal year. Earlier this month, we reported the district was discussing options to address the $16 million deficit in the budget for next school year. Parents tell WKYT they're frustrated with the idea of raising the occupational license tax. FCPS Board Chair Tyler Murphy has not yet responded to our request for comment. From board members,
this is all moving very quickly,
to community members.
It's not good for people not to know about something like this.
Many are frustrated by what they consider a lack of public notice regarding the Fayette County School Board's vote to raise the occupational licensing tax.
The way that I read the statute is that it did require at least a week's public notice.
This is the statute parent Matthew Veed is referring to. In a statement to WKYT, FCPS says the law, quote, only applies when a school board itself imposes certain taxes. And, quote, because this is a county level tax, it follows a different legal process and is not subject to the requirements of the statute. In a page on their website, the district says uncertainty in Washington, unfunded state mandates, inflation, and tariffs have left the district with, quote, no other choice but to increase the tax.
There are lots of choices that they could have chosen besides announcing on a holiday weekend that they were going to raise $30 million through a higher income tax.
The tax increase still has to be approved through the Fayette County Fiscal Court. Their next meeting is June 5th. When asked if the tax would be on their agenda, Judge Executive Mary Diane Hanna said they must first receive the resolution from the board with notice they've passed it. Then the court would discuss whether it will be on the agenda for their next meeting. She wrote, quote, this whole situation has a due process and we will be meeting with counsel to make sure we do it according to the books. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT. In a 3-2 vote, the FCPS board approved a resolution asking the fiscal court to raise the occupational license tax for schools from 0.5% to 0.75%.
I heard from a number of constituents who reached out to me by text, phone calls, emails, private messengers, asking whether or not the conversation and vote on May 27th was legal.
Senator Amanda Mays Bledsoe represents Lexington. After looking into the law, she reached out to Attorney General Russell Coleman. Wednesday, he released his opinion, saying FCPS's vote was unlawful because they did not give proper public notice of at least 1 week.
I think he confirmed what many people in Fayette County felt like, which we were shut out of a conversation about a tax increase.
We asked FCPS if the board's vote was unlawful since they didn't give at least 1 week's public notice. In a statement, they told us the law didn't apply since it's a county-level tax. However, Attorney General Russell Coleman addressed that statement given to WKYT in his opinion. He says the district's position is not supported by the statutory language.
The way Fayette County Public Schools handled it to begin with was inappropriate at best.
On Wednesday, FCPS said they, quote, respectfully but strongly disagree with Attorney General Coleman's opinion, adding they, quote, believe there are reasonable differences in interpretation.
I think that says a lot about where they feel like they are, that they can disregard the Attorney General of the state.
Norma Justice is the president and co-founder of the Fayette County Children's Coalition.
And I really think that the general public has turned against the board and their decision-making because they violated the trust.
The Fayette County Fiscal Court was slated to vote on the tax increase Thursday. Now, Fayette County Judge Executive Mary Diane Hanna says they will no longer be voting on the tax. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT. The Fayette County Fiscal Court was slated to vote on the FCPS board's resolution asking to raise the occupational license tax in Thursday's meeting. That was until Attorney General Russell Coleman released his opinion, saying the board's vote passing the resolution was unlawful as they failed to give the required 1 week public notice.
Given the Attorney General's opinion issued yesterday and upon the advice of the Fayette County Attorney, Fiscal Court cannot address this matter as it was presented.
In Attorney General Coleman's opinion, he says the Fiscal Court cannot impose the tax unless it's certified by the school board again, this time in a meeting held after at least 1 week's public notice is given. The district tells me the tax will be on the agenda for their June 23rd meeting.
In theory, we have to act on it within 10 days. I don't know if people will be in town in July to act on it, so we will have to see.
On their website, FCPS says the fiscal court's role in imposing the tax is, quote, purely procedural. They say its only role is to, quote, adopt, not to debate and approve or disapprove. I asked Fayette County Judge Executive Mary Diane Hanna about this Thursday. Is that the case, or do you guys have an option to say no?
Well, in this case, we were able to say hang tight and wait on it, but I have to let counsel answer that.
While the fiscal court's power to decide on the tax remains unclear, Hanna says the public's opinion is.
I received phone calls, I received emails, and I received texts about it. No one was in favor of it, but I did have one person say she was in favor of it, but she wasn't in favor of the way the process went.
FCPS says they will hear public comment again in their June 23rd meeting. That meeting will be virtual. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.